Good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be learning something new. I'm actually in the process of knitting a Peruvian hat, and the way the technique is done in both Portuguese and Peruvian knitting, the color work is done with the wrong side out. And we're now working on the ear flaps. Let me get myself situated here, and then we'll keep going. I already cast on 42 stitches for the 42 stitches, and now we're going to do the rest of the ridges. 16 rows of garter stitch to complete the ear flap. And what I'm doing here is with the Portuguese and Peruvian knitting, you purl the yarn forward, and you keep going to the end, and then I'll keep going until I have 4 ridges. It won't take long at all. And I learned all these techniques while I was in New York for Vogue Knitting Live, as my previous podcast I have back in January. Just keep going. Let's see. Purl to the end, and then do the selvage. I'm working on getting this to the end, and I'm going to show the next step when turning rows, which will be the slip garter selvage, sometimes called the brioche selvage stitch. And what I do here is turn the yarn, slip with yarn forward, yarn in front of the wrong side, then purl. Then I keep purling up into the next row, and you can already see here I'm having 2 garter ridges, and when I have 4, I'll change to green. And there's a lot of ways of doing this that are really unique. This type of knitting has been popular and has been known to be in certain places in Europe, such as the Greece and the Balkans, in Bulgaria, and into Turkey. And there's some Turkish knitters that still do it the way that I do it today, sometimes around the neck, sometimes with a pin. But now that they have pins that are magnetized, it's like you find them on Etsy.com. And we're almost to the end of the row. We just need to do about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 20 more stitches. Now purl to the end and do the same thing again. The same procedure as before. Purl, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slip with yarn in front and turn the work. Now we're going to the 4th garter stitch row. And here is something that I have the option of changing color every 2 ridges or 4. But now I will show you how to change color. I'll purl to the end, and keep going. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and slip again. And now here's something that's important to know when changing color. I remove the orange, now I'll add the green. And what I do is something important. I purl the first stitch in the secondary color. Very carefully. Tuck everything so the stitches aren't too loose. And now purl. You purl to the end and do the same thing as before. I'm up to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then do it again in multiples of 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then slip. Let me check something here. I want to make sure I have 42 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Yep, we got it. 42. Now we purl the selvage stitch, as before, slipping with the yarn in back. And there we go. The first ridge in the second color is done, or started. Purl to the end of the row and keep going for 2 ridges of garter, and then change to orange. Now keep purling. Just let that go, and then purl to the end. As you can see here, the color change is really subtle. But done on the wrong side and in purl, you have like an already automatic knit stitch on the right side. And this is the traditional way the Portuguese have done garter stitch for years. Ever since knitting became prevalent in from 500 years ago, which would have been the 15th century. Let's see, here we go. Purl to the end. Let's see, purl to the end. And then we will get to the next step. Now, here's the important thing, is make sure that when this stitch is caught in the next selvage, make sure it's secure, and there you are. Now purl one more row, and then we will have 2 corresponding ridges on the right side after this next row. Now I'll purl to the end. And we're almost there. And the technique for the earflap and hollow would go, and then you would just fold this up. Excuse me. When this is you graft in the center, it would fold up like this, and the width with the 16 rows of garter stitch will make this the actual diameter of the ear flap. And you can see you could play with the pattern. You could do 2, 2, 2, and 2, and then have a center of 4 in the center after doing a special grafting technique. Sometimes it's called the Russian grafting, or in South America it's called the dovetail bind-off. I would like to thank you all for watching, and again, please stay safe.